Welcome everyone to our Born CEO Leadership Academy. This is, I don't even remember what episode number this is, number 20 or whatever number this is, but super excited to be back with you all. Just got back yesterday from Montego Bay, Jamaica, man. It was amazing, very relaxing. Got to connect with some of the most impactful people in the world. And just to be able to be in that type of environment with amazing people that are doing big things, making a big impact, and just relax, reflect, and then come back refreshed and ready to go. It's an amazing thing, and so super excited about that. But glad to be back Monday night. You all know I was on my way to the airport last Monday night. I love being with my Born CEO family. And so for those joining us for the first time, welcome to Born CEO Leadership Academy. This is one of my ways of volunteering and giving back through my nonprofit and Born CEO Leadership Academy. And our mission is just to inspire and equip more people to claim their freedom and live their purpose. And so we have people that gather from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different industries. Some of you all are in business with me in Legal Shield. Some of you are not. Some of you are on your own path. Some of you are artists. Some of you are leaders. Some of you are figuring out your purpose. Some of you are already walking in your purpose. So we've got a mixed crowd here, but I'm so excited to be here this evening. I'm going to share the screen and go over our normal introduction. I haven't done this in the last week or two. With our normal Born CEO introduction, but it's so powerful to remind yourself but also to declare your vision, to declare your path, where you're going, and we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. For those who have not had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Coach Fard Bell, honored to serve as the founder of Born CEO Leadership Academy. The head coach of Born CEO Coaching, and best-selling author of the book Born to Rule: 7 Steps to Claiming Your Freedom and Living Your Purpose. We're here to gather around other purpose-driven leaders, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, aspiring leaders, to empower one another in our journeys. And so we have a special introduction, but before I go into the introduction, and we're going to have everybody unmute and share, just remind you that you are the Born CEO of your gift. You were born in this generation to help solve an important problem in this world. And your true gift is God's solution to the very problem that you were born to solve. This is a reminder that all the resources you'll ever need are connected to your gift, your passion, and your purpose. Without you, this world will continue to suffer in various ways. But when you discover your true gift, embrace your true identity, and become the leader you were truly born to be, this world will never, ever be the same. And so welcome to Born CEO Leadership Academy. So there's a domain you were born to rule. In my book, Born to Rule: 7 Steps to Claiming Your Freedom and Living Your Purpose, step 1 in the 7 steps is to be the queen or king of your domain. That means there's an area of gifting that you have, and that area of gifting, your primary gifting, is where your greatest influence is. It's where your greatest impact in this world is. It's what you were already born to do. It's connected to who you were born to be. In fact, your provisions are connected to your gift. I'm a firm believer that all the money you'll ever need is hiding behind your gift. Your divine provisions are connected to your divine assignment. And when we get ourselves, when we get you and you're walking in your divine assignment, everything else just prospers from there. When everything you do is in alignment with your divine assignment, this becomes easier. That doesn't mean life doesn't have its challenges and ups and downs and the obstacles that are necessary for us to develop into who we were born to be, but decision-making becomes easy. You know, is this in alignment with my divine assignment or is it not? Right? It becomes easy. Is this relationship in alignment with my divine assignment or is it not? Is this team member, is this person, is this opportunity that I'm about to consider, is it in alignment? Is it going to take me closer to or further away? And so what I want everybody to do is imagine that you're already completely financially free. You are already financially free. Your bills for your family are more than paid. You have an extra 40 to 60 hours per week because you no longer need to work a job. Your time is free and abundant. You have finances. Your personal goals are taken care of. Your family's taken care of. Now you can focus on higher things. Now you can focus on your divine assignment on another level. You can focus on the impact that you want to make in this world. You can focus on what you want your legacy to be known for in this world, beyond yourself, beyond your family. So the question is, if you could only do one thing to make a positive impact in this world with your gift, what would that one thing be? Who would you serve? What problem would you solve for them? And this is the BornCEO question. And as you think about that question, whatever that first thing that comes up for you, I want you to share that when we get to the introduction. It doesn't mean it won't evolve. You might come back next week and have more clarity. After hearing others, you might have more clarity. But I want you to share what really comes up for you in the scenario where you're not making decisions based on your bills anymore. You're free. They're already paid. You're not making decisions based on the time constraints of your job anymore, because you have time freedom and financial freedom. And when you start to think from this place of freedom, it's amazing how much clarity you discover is already there. So I want you to think about that. And this is the introduction on the screen. These 4 simple, short questions. We want you to just read it and fill in the blanks to introduce yourself. And when you get to number 2, that's where that answer is to that BornCEO question. That one thing you would do to make a difference in this world when you don't have to worry about time or money anymore. What would you really focus on? What would you be known for? That's what we mean by your ultimate mission in question number 2. So 4 short sentences for the sake of time. And who wants to jump in first? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay. My name is Nicole Fitzgerald from Norwalk, Connecticut. I am the BornCEO of my gift. My ultimate mission is to have, to service women who has been affected by domestic violence. I would love to have a place for them to come and help them get out of their situation, and to help them to find their purpose. Because, you know, when you get in that situation, you lose you. I've been there, so I know. And my goal for this year is to level up and have a great big team. Once again, my name is Nicole Fitzgerald, and I am the BornCEO of my gift.
Everybody unmute and show some love for Miss Nicole. Woo woo!
Yay, yay, yay.
Good job.
Nice job.
Good job.
All right, who's next?
Good evening, everyone. This is Selena Scott from St. John's, Florida. My name is Selena Scott, from St. John's, Florida. I was just going off the top of my dome, and I'm the CEO of my gift. My ultimate mission is to provide for the homeless. God's given me a mandate to, one of my pastors passed away, and we have property, and I'm going to go back and see some of that property to be able to take care of the homeless. And then we have a part of the church that has a lot of rooms on the back hallway, and I'm going to be able to exercise the other thing, which is serving the young adult and young women in ministry to just help everybody get back on track. And my goal this year is to continue to move forward in doing just that. And once again, my name is Selena Scott, and I am the CEO of my gift.
Everybody unmute and show Miss Selena Scott some love. Woo woo!
Woo-hoo!
Graduate. Woo.
Who's next?
I'll go, Coach. My name is Tony Mee Carter. I'm from Sacramento, California, and I'm the born CEO of my gift. My ultimate mission is to open up facilities for young women that are in foster care who become pregnant, to help them to set yourself on a vocational path so that they can take care of themselves and their children, and also have financial intelligence so that they know that there's more than just working a linear job. My goal for this year is to become debt-free. By that, I need to, or will, become an executive director before the end of 2024. Once again, my name is Tony Mee Carter, and I am the born CEO of my gift.
Unmute, show some love for Miss Tony. Woo, woo.
Woo, woo.
All right, who's next? We'll do a few more.
All right, Coach. My name is Hank Herring from Beaufort, South Carolina, and I'm the born CEO of my gift. My ultimate mission is to create a place of learning to create with their own, for those who create with their own hands, vision, releasing their imaginations into their creations. And my goal this year is to set a place and to establish a community within the area that we're in, bringing those people together of like-minded for the arts. Once again, my name is Hank Herring, and I'm the born CEO of my gift.
Everybody give Brother Hank some love. So make some noise.
All
Woo,
right,
woo.
all right, all right, all right. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? You
Okay,
haven't
I'll
gone
go.
yet. It's your turn. Take it away.
Okay, my name is Marcela Martinez from San Jose, California, and I'm the born CEO of my gift. My ultimate mission is to impact more families and individuals in being their most authentic self while creating generational wealth and abundance with multiple streams of income. Once again, my name is
And number three?
Marcel. Oh, and my goal this year is to, oh goodness, there's so many things I want to do this year. I'm still writing this down. I'm kind of going on a fly
That's
here.
okay. You're doing
My
great.
goal this year is to hit executive director and to have multiple passive income properties and to create abundance in my family and safety. Once again, my name is Marcela Martinez, and I'm the born CEO of my gift.
All right, unmute, make some noise. Woo, woo.
Woo, woo,
Thank you.
All right, we'll take one more.
I'll go. My name is Michelle Mullins from Dayton, Ohio, and I'm the born CEO of my gift. My ultimate mission is to grow a large team of leaders to help me carry out my mission of protecting and empowering families and individuals, and help my team make a living, as well as make a living for a comfortable living for my own family and pay off debts. My goal this year is to advance to executive director. And once again, my name is Michelle Mullins, and I'm the born CEO of my gift.
Unmute, make some noise for Miss Michelle. Woo, woo.
woo, woo.
All right, and my name is Coach Fard Bell from in Sacramento, California, and I am the born CEO of my gift. My ultimate mission is to inspire and equip millions of people to claim their freedom and live their purpose. And I want to become a reverse tither, where I'm able to live on 10% of my income and give away the other 90% to fund the assignment that I've been given. My goal this year is to empower over a dozen families to become financially independent. And once again, my name is Coach Fard Bell, and I am the born CEO of my gift. Unmute, show me some love, everybody. Woo, woo.
All right.
Oh, yes,
Hey.
yes. Fire, baby,
Right.
fire.
Let's do it.
I love it.
That
So,
was fun. Yeah.
so that's our born CEO introduction. And for those who are here for the first time, you know, what I love is seeing people come back and getting more and more clarity every time you speak your vision. and get comfortable articulating it, because sometimes we can have our vision in our own mind, but nobody knows about it until we open our mouths and speak it, declare it, you know, and you never know who that person is that is waiting for you. You know, how many know if you have a gift from God that it probably can't be pulled off just by you alone? There are other people assigned to that same vision. And sometimes the thing that makes us slow down or intimidated to pursue what we've been called to do is we feel like we're inadequate to pull it off on our own. And part of that is, you know, the devil whispering lies and attacking our self-worth on that left shoulder, versus listening to the angel on that right shoulder we used to see in the old cartoons. But part of that is because we aren't supposed to do it all by ourselves. We have a role to play in the vision that we've been given. Other people have a role to play. Some people have knowledge that you need. Some people have resources that you need. There's some people that have the money to fund the vision, but they don't have the idea that you've been given. And until they hear you articulate your vision or your idea, they're having a hard time finding you. So I love the practice of speaking the vision. You never know who knows the person that you need to meet, that you need to connect with, the person that resonates with who you are. And also for you to get more clarity and boldness. So tonight's topic is one key quality that every leader needs. One key quality that every leader needs. Go ahead and post in the chat. What do you think that one key quality that I might be talking about is? And there's lots of qualities, so there's no wrong answer. But what do you think? What's your guess on the one key quality that every leader needs? And let's see if anybody guesses the quality I'm referring to.
Oh my God, I keep doing it.
Okay, let's meet the line here. All right, let's see in the chat. Ooh, that's a good one. Influence, the ability to follow. Ooh, that's a good one. Humility, that's a good one. Motivating people. Nice. Planning. Nice. Ding, 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 ding. Somebody got it. Confidence. Confidence. Miss Stansel in New York. You are the winner. You get bragging rights. So the quality of tonight is confidence. Let's talk a little bit about confidence. This topic has been coming up a lot lately. I know one of the things I struggled with a lot before I discovered the Born CEO within me was the lack of confidence. And so let's talk about that. Why is it important? What do you do to build it? And maybe you have confidence, but how many know if you're building a team, I call it your dream team. Every Born CEO, every dream deserves a dream team. Every dream needs a dream team. So the people that you have playing certain roles in your team to pull off your dream, they need confidence as well. So how do you build confidence in yourself? How do you build confidence in others? We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight and why it's so important. So I think we all know, and someone said influence right away, Miss Marcella. In order to increase our influence, people need to be confident in us. And this is a very interesting thing that I've learned over the years. I used to think that as long as people were confident in my vision, that people would come along and join in the vision because they were confident in the vision. And what I found is that even though people may not be confident in the vision, or even if they are confident in the vision itself, most people are looking for a leader who's confident. Because yeah, the vision, I might see, okay, yeah, the vision makes sense. I can see that vision happening, but do I have what it takes to play my role? Do I have what it takes to bring it to pass? Do I have confidence in myself? And some people are waiting for you to display a certain level of confidence before they move. Let me say that again. Some people are waiting for you to display a certain level of confidence before they move. You may be seeking funding for your nonprofit. You may be seeking funding for your for-profit. Guess what? If you aren't confident in not only the vision, but confidence in yourself to pull off that vision, then the people that you want to buy in and support you will pick up on that lack of confidence, and it will affect how much influence you have on them. Is that making any sense so far? If you are able to unmute your camera, please do. And thank you all for that who have your cameras on. I love seeing the smiling faces. I feed off of your energy in that interaction. So if you're building a team and you're looking for a group of volunteers to help bring your vision into fruition, or you are building, that could be a nonprofit team. You could be building a business team of people that you're looking, they need to know that you're confident in your own vision, but also confident in you. Confident in you. We're going to talk about that one a lot tonight. And so your level of confidence will dictate and influence other people's level of confidence. In fact, someone can start off with a higher level of confidence, but when they pick up the lack of confidence that may be exuding from someone else, their confidence actually drops. Their confidence actually drops. In fact, there have been times where I wanted to support an idea, but the person who was communicating the idea lacked confidence so much that it made me doubt whether or not it was worth me supporting. So even if the idea is great, even if the vision is great, even if the proposal is great, even if the presentation is great, even if the opportunity is great, the company is great, the product is great, the service is great, if your confidence is not great enough, you can actually have the opposite effect that you're seeking when you're moving forward. If your team members' confidence is not strong enough, it can actually have the opposite effect. And so let's talk about some of the ways to build confidence. And I've shared my experience, and then you all chime in as well with some of your experiences as well as it pertains to building confidence. So where does confidence come from? And that's a different answer for different people. But for me, the greatest source of confidence is the confidence that comes from knowing I am on the path to fulfill my divine assignment. Let me tell you why. I already have confidence in God. I already know God doesn't fail. I already know that if God has given me a vision, all I have to do is align with it. I already know that if there's something that God wants done on earth and he's put that on my heart, then all I have to do is be a vessel, a willing vessel for him to work through. So my confidence in God transfers over to me, even though I may feel inadequate on my own, but me plus God is the majority. I can't lose when I'm in alignment. And so that's the first source of confidence for me, my confidence in my creator, my confidence in the King of Kings. The second source of confidence I discovered is a big one, and I see a lot of people that miss this level of confidence. This level of confidence comes from just deciding that I will not stop until I get it right. Let me say that again. There's a level of confidence, and many of you've got experience with this. It's when you just draw a line in the sand, and you might be in a place where you're like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know where the resources are going to come from. I don't even have a clear picture of the entire plan. All I know is I'm going to win because I'm not going to stop until I do. I'm going to win because I will not stop until I do. I cannot express in words effectively enough the value of that level of confidence. When you make the decision and you draw your line in the sand and you say, I will not stop until, I will until. Well, how long is that? I remember someone in my life, in a certain chapter of my life, was saying, well, if it doesn't work out, how long are you going to give yourself until it works out? And they were trying to nail me down to a decision like, hey, if you don't have a certain amount of success by a certain amount of time, will you quit your entrepreneurial endeavor and get a regular job? And I started thinking, okay, how much time will I give myself if I don't accomplish this certain income level by a certain amount of time? And I could not bring myself to give an answer to that, because my answer is I will until. I will until, period. And see, how can you stop a person that will not quit until they figure it out? Somebody put unstoppable in the chat. This is when you become unstoppable. And it's not, and notice that it's not because you know the plan. It's not because you know how it's going to work out. It's not because you've got everything figured out, because you don't have everything figured out. It's because you just decided, I won't stop until. And when you move with that level of decisiveness, when you move with that level of faith, the universe bends to your authority. You activate something that God has arranged where the world has to align with your will. This is one thing I don't know how to fully explain it. All I know is whenever I operate in that space, that I will not stop until everything else just works itself out. It's like the angels get dispatched to help move obstacles out of your way, move the right people into your path. The whole universe bends to your will. Miss Marcella said she just got chills. How many of y'all are feeling that? So this confidence is important to some of you. Already embody this. You already live this, but it's also important to transfer this into your dream team. Transfer this into others. This is probably my favorite source of confidence, if you can't tell. Another source of confidence is the confidence that comes from experience. But I want to talk about two sides of that coin of experience. I want to talk about knowledge and activity. Knowledge and activity. Left foot, right foot. I was in Dubai. I love Dubai. I can't wait to go back to Dubai. And I was at a retreat with my friend Fraser Brooks while I was out there. And he gave a great analogy for what I'm about to say, and about knowledge and activity, knowledge, activity, knowledge and activity. He said, when you learn something, that's like taking a step with your left foot. And when you go and apply it, it's like taking a step with your right foot. And if you only do one of those, let's say you do activity, 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 there's benefit to that. But sometimes if you only do activity, but you never take time to develop yourself, to learn something new, like, listen to a podcast, an audiobook, something that sharpens your skills 30 minutes a day. If you don't have that leadership development, that personal development sharpening you, it's like trying to chop down a tree with a baseball bat. Your axe can be so dull that instead of having a sharp blade to make it easier to chop down that tree, you have to use brute force trying to chop that tree down with an axe that's as dull as a baseball bat. Can you imagine how exhausting that must be, trying to chop down a tree with a baseball bat. So that's when you're activity, but you're not balancing that activity with personal development, professional development, leadership development. But on the flip side, sometimes we can focus on that left foot where we're learning, but not doing. And so that's the other side of the coin, where you can literally have so much information coming in that you find yourself in information overload. And so you might get a little bit of a confidence boost from the information, but there'll still be that lack of experience because we haven't applied it. We haven't gone into application. I used to call it getting fat on knowledge, like eating, consuming, but never burning off any of those calories with activity. Are y'all with me? So am I the only one that's ever eaten a little bit more than I was burning off and found myself, becoming a little more fluffy in the process than I desired? So it's a process of the learning, with taking a step with the left foot, take a step with the right foot, take a step with the left foot, take a step with the right foot. But if you are just learn, and you're trying to go forward towards your vision, you're just spinning around in circles, pivoting on your right foot. You're just spinning around in circles over and over and over again. Learn. But we're not moving forward because we're only stepping with one foot. And on the flip side, if you're just doing activity, but you're not learning from those who have already taken 5, 10, 20, 30 years to learn what you're learning, why would you take the same 20, 30, 40 years to learn what somebody else already learned? And you can learn it in 30 to 40 days or 30 to 40 months, what took somebody else 30 to 40 years. You can avoid the mistakes, many of them. You're going to have your own mistakes to make along the way. But why waste that time? In my opinion, that's poor time management, to learn everything from scratch. And not, for whatever reason, we're not willing to learn from those who have come before us. To me, that's poor time management, right? But it's an accelerator where you can take your personal experience that comes from activity, plus the knowledge from those who have come before you. And that combination of learning and doing, studying and practicing, that becomes wisdom. And here's a good note to take down and to share with others. And that is that learning doesn't come from, true learning isn't from getting information. Just because we've heard something doesn't mean we've learned something. This is something we need to shift. Let's shift this mindset in society, in our circles, and our communities, and at the places where we influence. Learning does not come from hearing. Just because I've heard something doesn't mean I know something. True learning is when you've actually applied it. When you've applied it, that's when you've learned it. That's where the real learning starts, right? And this is why so many people say things like, I know that, but when you look at their fruits, the fruits don't reflect that they know it, because you don't know it until you're living it. Ooh, write that down. I don't know it until I'm living it. I don't know it until I'm living it. I went to a seminar, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker, and I remember he said 3 words that'll keep you broke. The 3 words are, I know that. I know that. The minute we say I know that, which we really mean I've heard that before, most people, our minds shut down. We're not able to receive more because we think we know it already. But again, I don't know it if I'm not living it. So that's a powerful breakthrough. So one source of confidence is the confidence that comes from learning, and then the confidence that comes from doing. And those are 2 different sources, really, but they go hand in hand. And I was doing a coaching call earlier, and one of the things that came up is the power of getting into action. and more specifically, physical activity. We were talking about feeling blah. Anybody ever felt blah? Like, I don't feel like doing anything, or I don't feel like doing the thing I know I should be doing right now. I know I'm not the only one that's ever felt that way, right? And so we were talking, and the phrase that came out, how do you overcome blah? How do you overcome that blah feeling? And one thing that I remember learning from Tony Robbins is that you can act your way into feeling. You can act your way into feeling, meaning do the thing and you'll feel the feeling. Take the action and you'll feel the feeling. And one pattern that I've noticed, I was at a VIP session in Louisville, Kentucky, a couple months ago, and the speaker, the coach that was coaching, he put up a chart and he broke down something we discuss a lot, and that's the value of our time. And what are we doing with the value of our time? And he did something profound. He put up a chart that broke down what certain activities actually are worth financially. And it was so impactful to see this list, to see this chart. He had things that we do that pay us negative $100 an hour. Have you ever done something? And that was the first time I had even heard that one. Negative. Have you ever done something that paid you negative $100 an hour? Meaning it costs you money to do that thing. And sometimes that's okay. But if your calendar is filled up with a bunch of things that pay you negative $100 an hour, how many know that's a quick way to broke? Or a great way to stay broke, right? And then he put things that pay $100 an hour, or well, $10 an hour. Then there's things that pay $100 an hour. And then he made a list of things that pay $1,000 an hour. And then he made a list of things that pay $10,000 per hour. And then he made a list of things that pay $100,000 per hour. Some people are like, what? There are things that pay $100,000 an hour? Yes. And the people who do those things get paid $100,000 per hour. And then I think he finished it off with things that pay $1 million an hour. What? And so most people have never been taught to even think like that. But those who have been are the ones that we go, wow, how are they earning that kind of income? And if you dissected their schedule, their calendar, as born CEOs, we talk about in chapter 3 of Born to Rule, rule your time. As born CEOs, we work from a calendar. We schedule our lives, and to the level of effectiveness with which we schedule our time is reflective of the fruits that we produce, the results that we produce. So chapter 3 is about ruling your time. Step 3 in the 7 steps, ruling your time. So the question is, what is our time filled up with? What is our calendar filled up with, consciously or unconsciously? Whether you started using a physical calendar or not, and if you haven't, please change that tonight. Not now, but right now. I recommend Google Calendar in your phone. Your phone's always with you. It's digital. Even if you like to handwrite like I do, it's just something powerful about having that digital calendar as well. I like to use a physical success planner to plan out my goals and break them down, but I use a digital calendar to keep my time. And you may be a little bit different, doesn't matter. What really matters is that you're using a calendar system to really see what your time is going towards. Otherwise, we can completely go through life year after year, decade after decade, and never become aware that our calendar is filled up with negative $100 an hour things, $10 an hour things, and we're wondering why we're not producing what we're truly worth. And so those who have massive success, financially speaking, and this applies to other areas, financial is only one area of life, but you'll find that their calendar is filled up with activities that pay more. So if you say, hey, man, I want to make $1 million a year to fund the dream that I've been given, the calling, but your calendar is not filled up with the right things, then we're already off track. But if you say, okay, I want to work 20 hours, 40 hours a week, and I want to make $1 million a year, and you divide that up, okay, so let's say 40 hours a week times 50 weeks in a year, and then you divide that $1 million by that number. Now you can see how much you're making per hour, or whatever the goal is, whether it's 1 million, 10 million, whatever that number is, you can divide it by that number of hours in a year that you're going to be working. And now you know how much your time is worth. And now you're going to transform your calendar from things that are not paying you that amount per hour. Let's say you needed to make $1,000 per hour in order to accomplish that income. Then anything you're doing that is not $1,000 an hour activity needs to get replaced and delegated. So if cutting your grass is a $10 an hour activity or a $20 an hour activity, and you said you need to be making $1,000 an hour, would you in your right mind throw away $980 cutting your own grass in your right mind? If you knew it was costing you $980 to cut your grass, to wash your own dishes, to do your own laundry. Are y'all catching the drift here? And so it's a shift in thinking. And this is the difference between billionaires. I've met 6 or 7 billionaires in person. And I've met hundreds of multimillionaires. And what they fill their calendar with is completely different. So I said all that to say, all those were bonus tips that I just shared. What I was really getting at is one of the things that blew my mind that showed up on the $1,000 an hour list of activities was physical exercise. Physical exercise. And this was so powerful when I was talking earlier about how to blah feeling. And every time I look at my life when I had the best exercise routine, I was also accomplishing other goals at a higher level. Can anybody relate to that? When you got your physical fitness going well, all of a sudden that spills over into another area of life. One of my favorite, most life-changing programs, aside from the Bible itself, is an audio program by Jim Rohn called Challenge to Succeed. Challenge to Succeed by Jim Rohn. You can probably find it on YouTube. Best $40 I ever invested. And in the Challenge to Succeed audio program, that seminar, he talks about how every discipline affects every other discipline. Every good habit that you develop starts to lead to other good habits. And that habit of just physical activity and exercise, it spills over into other areas of life as well. So it's a confidence boost. How many feel more confident when you exercise? That feeling of knowing that, wow, I said I was going to do it, and I actually went and did it. You learn to trust yourself. This is so important, family. The more you are able to say you're going to do something and actually follow through with it, you start to build trust in your own self. You build trust in your own word. So the more you do what you say you're going to do, the more confidence you develop in yourself. And as the great John C. Maxwell says about leadership, he says, if you won't follow you, why would anybody else? He said, the hardest person to lead is yourself. And if you won't follow you, how likely are other people to follow your lead? If you don't trust your own self, how difficult will it be for others to trust you? So one major source of building confidence in ourselves, helping others build confidence in themselves, is to get them taking those baby steps to building confidence. Sometimes our confidence is lower because we've gone on a streak of not keeping our word to ourselves. And we can reverse that by starting to take baby steps. You know what? I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Some of y'all heard the story when I first started doing push-ups. I told my brother, I'm going to start with 1 push-up a day. And I'm going to practice the habit of going with the extra mile and do 1 extra. And he just laughed because it's like, man, you're never going to build any kind of muscle doing 1 push-up. And what he didn't realize is that I wasn't worried about muscle building in the beginning. What I was more focused on is habit building. And I knew that if I could build the habit of getting down and doing 1 push-up a day and do 1 extra, that consistency would lead to me doing 2, and then eventually 5, and then eventually 10. But if I could just start that habit, the baby step, then it would boost my confidence in doing it. And at some point, 1 push-up is going to feel ridiculous. Just doing 1 push-up and 1 extra. And that's exactly what happened. The first day I did my 1 push-up, did my 1 extra, got it. Next day I did it again, got it. Next day, okay, 2 is a little, that's a little ridiculous. So let me do 3. And I did 3, 4, 5. And the next thing you know, I was doing 5 or 10. And the next thing you know, I was doing 10 or 20, and then 30, 40, and then 50, and then plus. And then it grew from there. But the power of baby steps is important in confidence building. Taking baby steps. So sometimes if you're taking big steps and you find yourself not making it, it's okay to lower the bar so that you can raise the bar. Sometimes it's okay to take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward. And this is a big part of developing ourselves, leading ourselves, and developing and leading others, is to do the same for them, allow them, help them give themselves permission to take baby steps as well to boost their own confidence. They've got to start somewhere. And sometimes we judge ourselves in an adult body, and we look at our adult body and say, I'm an adult. I should already be at this certain place. I should already be taking adult steps. But no, that's not true. If you're starting something new, then even though you may be in an adult body, you are a baby when it comes to that new thing. So stop comparing your adult self to your baby steps. It's destroying your own confidence. So allow yourself to be where you are. Here's a phrase that's helped me over the years. I learned this from the great Paul J. Meyer, billionaire Paul J. Meyer, one of the billionaires I got a chance to mentor from before he passed. And I actually hired of one of his companies that taught CEOs and leaders worldwide how to set, plan, and achieve goals. And the phrase that I took away, one of the phrases I took away from that coaching is, I cannot grow from where I used to be or where I think I should be. I cannot grow from where I used to be or where I think I should be. I can only grow from where I truly am right now. If I get on the scale, whatever my weight is right now, that's where I am. I can't grow from my old weight that I used to have or the new weight I think I should have by now. I can only grow from where I am. So releasing myself from the old or the future and just being where I am and growing from there puts me in a space to start where I am and actually build confidence. Isn't that good? So a couple keys to building confidence there. Another source of confidence comes from producing results. See, through that consistent activity, all of a sudden we start producing results. But notice the confidence came before the results. But the results can give you additional confidence because now you're starting to have a track record of producing results. And some of you are like, yeah, I get this. You're already high achievers, high producers, but you got to be patient with other people who have not gotten to that place yet. I would say maybe 10% of the population, if I'm being generous, is already self-motivated. They've already discovered this. Well, what about the other 90% that may be a part of your dream team that still needs some development, that still needs some growth? And if you're expecting them to perform at this point, you're an adult, you're grown, you shouldn't need this, you shouldn't need that. You may have a frustrating journey, especially if you're leading a volunteer army. And so if you will allow yourself to become a people developer, one who can see somebody where they are and see where they can be, and you have the patience to help them develop their confidence, or at least get them in the environment where they can develop their confidence, like this environment, or an environment where they can grow, or the resources where they can grow, I'm telling you, you will put yourself in a position that is very rare, because a lot of people aren't willing to develop others. And when you are willing to develop others, you put yourself in a position to develop a dream team that others can only wish that they could have. You put yourself in position for opportunities to open up that other people don't get, because they're not willing to develop others, or they would like to, but they don't know how. You can put yourself in position to earn income levels that others aren't ever going to earn until they become a people. Developing people is one of those things that pays $1,000 an hour, $10,000 an hour, $100,000 an hour. Over time, you look back at the fruits of your labor, the amount of time you've invested over the years, developing others, doing some of these things. You look up and people are going, how are you earning this kind of income? Or it might be bigger than income. How are you making this type of an impact around the world, directly and indirectly? It's because you took the time to learn how to develop people. It pays big dividends, financially and otherwise. So that's another way to develop confidence, is through the results that you produce, and being able to see your track record and owning your victories. There was a call this morning, and a new leader was sharing how, was asking the question, how do I develop a confidence in myself where people might be joining my team who want to accomplish something that I have not accomplished yet? It was a very good question. How do I develop confidence? How can I lead this person that maybe they've had more experience than I had in the past, or they've accomplished things that I haven't accomplished, or they want to accomplish something that I want to accomplish? And, that negative self-talk starts to kick in, like, who am I to lead this person? And I said, the great thing about our business, this person is in my Legal Shield business, but these principles apply to everything. I said, the great thing about our business is that it's not just based on you. You're surrounded by a team of leaders. So when you bring someone on to your team, you're plugging them into an environment that will help develop them and support them. So it's not all on you, unlike a traditional business where it's all on you. But the second thing is, I said, realize that what you have already accomplished are some of the same steps that they have to accomplish if they want to get where they're going. So say, for example, there are 10 steps to get where they want to go. And maybe you haven't reached step number 10 where they ultimately want to end up, but you've reached step number 7. Well, you got to own the fact that you've accomplished steps 1 through 7 already, and do not diminish the value of what you've already accomplished. And in order for them to get to step number 10, they have to accomplish steps 1 through 7, just like you have already. So own what you've accomplished, because you are an expert in what you've accomplished and the way that you've accomplished it. So take ownership in that, walk in that authority, and know that you are an expert and you are qualified to lead me from step 1 through 7, just like you did, in spite of the fact that you may not be at step number. And even if I want to go to step number 10, I've got to accomplish what you've already accomplished at step 1 through 7. Even if you're at step 3, I haven't accomplished step 3 in this endeavor. Maybe I have accomplished other things in other areas of life, but I haven't done it here in this arena, in your arena, in this new arena. So take confidence in what you have accomplished and dissect the steps that you took to get there, the obstacles that you overcame to get there, and own it and teach others how to get where you are. I don't know who that was for today, but that is a big piece that helped me along the way, of owning what you've accomplished. Sometimes we can be so focused on where we want to go that we diminish what we've already accomplished. Don't do that. Own your victories, right? What you've accomplished, what God has done with you, through you. Own it, and show others how you did it, if they qualify. And then there's also confidence that comes from seeing the impact. You know, seeing the impact. I guess that's another form of results, but seeing the way you've been able to impact others, or your work has impacted others, your team has impacted others, that is another source of influence, of confidence. But the final thing I wanted to share tonight, and I'm sure there's many more, but it's confidence. Confidence also comes from changing your relationship with the word failure. Changing your relationship with the word failure is major, major. I used to think that failure made me a failure. I used to think that making a mistake made me a failure. Maybe the formal education system encouraged that line of thinking for me. You know, you get an F on a paper or a D on the paper or whatever, you make a mistake and it's a bad thing. But in life, that's not how it works. You're not a failure. Failure is not your identity. We make mistakes, and that's a part of the growth process. So if you're not careful and you still have a negative relationship with the word failure to the point where it becomes a fear, then you can find yourself avoiding activity because you're trying to avoid that feeling of being a failure. And avoiding the feeling means avoiding the activity. Avoiding the activity means avoiding the experience. Avoiding the experience means avoiding the confidence. So we've got to change the relationship with that word failure. Some of you have already done this yourself, but who are you developing? And so shifting that relationship with the word failure and embracing the process of falling down, getting up, falling down, getting up, riding a bicycle, right? How do you ride a bicycle? You can read 1,000 books on how to ride a bicycle. You still don't know how to ride a bicycle. You got to jump on the bicycle, fall off, get back on, fall off, get back on, find your balance, and then all of a sudden you're riding a bicycle. And once you finally go through the process, the faster you go through the process, the faster you get the skill, the faster you get the confidence, and now you're riding a bicycle. And so it's the same thing. Part of confidence comes from changing our relationship with the word failure. Napoleon Hill taught me this at 14 years old when I was listening to The Science of Personal Achievement by Napoleon Hill. And he said something like, there's no such thing as failure, only temporary defeat. He said, never mistake the word failure for temporary defeat. And the key word is temporary. Because we're unstoppable, because we are born CEOs. We don't let temporary defeat stop us. We profit from every adversity. One of the most impactful phrases I ever learned from Napoleon Hill is that in all adversity, there lies within it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. In every adversity, how many of them? How many adversities? Every adversity. Some adversities? Is it some adversities? No, it's every adversity. Wait, you mean like every adversity? Like every single adversity. Every single adversity. This is a powerful belief system to adopt. And whatever we choose to believe is what we choose to believe. My philosophy on belief is if I have the opportunity to choose between a disempowering belief and an empowering belief, why would I choose the disempowering belief? If I'm going to choose to believe something anyway, I'm going to choose to believe the thing that's going to empower me the most. So one of the most empowering beliefs that you can take on is that no matter what level of adversity strikes in your life, there lies within it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Translation. The bigger the adversity, the bigger the payoff is about to be. Now, why would you in your right mind pay a price of adversity and not get your payoff? If you're going to go through the adversity, you might as well get your payoff. So that means never waste a good mistake. Never waste a good adversity. If you're going to go through it, you start digging for those diamonds in it. As soon as you wipe your tears, as soon as you catch your breath, as soon as you crawl from under the sheets, dust yourself off and start looking for your payoff. In every adversity that lies within it, the seed, the what? The seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. So don't miss it because it's in seed form. As a seed, that means it may not look like a benefit at first, but you've got to know in your mind's eye that there's a seed of a greater benefit. And when you find it and water it and plant it and cultivate it, it's going to turn into something amazing. The blessing after the testing. So changing your mindset when it comes to adversity, when it comes to failure, when it comes to mistake, is one of the best ways to boost your confidence. And I promise you, as a 14-year-old kid, when I heard that philosophy and I chose to believe in that philosophy, no matter what circumstances come my way since then, I immediately start looking for the blessing on the other side. And the bigger the adversity, the bigger the payoff is about to be. How do I know? I'm not going to stop until I find it. So let's go ahead and unmute the lines. I want you to share your name, city, and state, and what your biggest takeaway is from today. And most importantly, what are you going to implement this week? Mr. Herring, why don't you kick us off?
So that for me was the for every adversity, that there's something bigger coming is, and I see that in everything I've ever done. I spent 20 years in the military, and so I saw that during that time, that every time we go through something, then it was always a bigger payoff. I'm finding that right now in the art field that I'm in, and I'm finding it in legal field, that every time I find I hit a wall, that on the other side of that wall, once I stay with it and get through that wall, it's worth every minute of it. It's worth every minute.
Powerful. And what are you going to implement this week?
So this week I'm implementing with my team. We're going to work this. I want them to realize and understand this whole thing about the diversity, because every time we hit a wall, I don't want my team quitting because of that. I want them to understand that we have a bigger payoff on the other side. We cannot quit. We can't quit.
Woo! Show them some love in the chat. I love it. Go ahead and raise your digital hands if you want to share. Miss Michelle Mullins, take it away. Name, city, state, and big takeaway and what you're going to implement this week.
Okay, my name is Michelle Mullins. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. My biggest takeaway is becoming a people developer, helping people where they are. So unfortunately, some of my team members haven't been active, and so because of things that are going on in their lives. So I definitely want to help them, meet them where they are, and develop them more by establishing a plan with them and finding ways that I can help them on their level of understanding without adding more work for them or being too aggressive or anything. Make it easier for them to do the business little by little, step by step, without burdening them, adding so much more to them. And also personal development, developing me and, as a person, and being more of a leader, and and getting back on and staying on Performance Club, for example. So, and viewing my track record. So those are the things that I'm going to work on this week.
Powerful. And congrats in advance. And, it's
Thank
such a
you.
balancing act. I've learned when I first started my people development journey, I used to spend a whole lot of time, one-on-one time with people who were not ready for one-on-one time. And that was hard for me to break away because I'm like, man, they need help. So I want to give. If you're a giver, you got a big heart. It could be hard, but I realized that me sitting on the eggs and waiting for them to hatch was not speeding up their development process. And one of the mistakes that I made along the way is that I was actually investing one-on-one time with people who hadn't earned one-on-one time with me. And I was neglecting the very people who deserved my one-on-one time. They were already producing and growing. And I was having a hard time struggling with that. So if anybody can relate to that, here's some things that helped me. I realized that the people who were needed more time to develop, more time to incubate, they did not need more of my one-on-one time. What they really need is for me to place them in the incubator. They needed me to place them in the environments that can help them develop. They needed me to give them the nutrients, the resources, meaning the audios to listen to, the 10 pages a day of a good book to listen to. They needed the small baby step assignments. Hey, go ahead and do this small assignment and get back to me, and I'll give you the next one. They needed the environment, where the mentors are, where the inspiration is. I needed to plug them into a community to support them and not put that on my back. I needed to plug them in to not only the community, I needed to plug them into the training calls or the mentoring calls, introduce them to a coach or mentor that could help them develop versus me investing all of my personal time with those who weren't ready to run. And so that's what helped me to balance it out, is providing the resources and environments for those that needed more development and group time, and then investing my one-on-one time with those who are ready to run. And so hopefully that helps somebody. I don't know who that was for today, but I needed that in my journey. Who's next? Ms. Stansel, name, city, state, what impacted you most, and what are you going to implement this week?
ATN Stansel, Bronx, New York. What impacted me most was move with faith and decisiveness. The universe will bend to your will. So this week, what I'm implementing is definitely change of mindset.
Love it, love it. Congrats in advance. Show some love in the chat for everybody. Miss Selena Scott, name, city, state, what impacted you most, and what are you going to implement this week?
So before I get started, Selena Scott, St. John's, Florida. But I just wanted to be transparent real quick. Everything that Coach Bell just said, and personally, first I have to apologize to you, Coach Bell, because I supposed to be got with you on some things and be having that one-on-one time, but you literally hit the nail on the head just now, and that's the reason why I haven't wasted your time. I am respectful, and I just love you as my coach, that I'm not wasting your time right now. I'm going through a lot of personal things, and like I was saying at my meeting, I really firmly believe in those who show up, go up. And right now, the best thing I can do is stay plugged in. I have been staying plugged in. I have been just staying plugged in. And it is like the best thing that I can do right now. I don't want to say it's all I can do right now, but it's kind of like all I can do right now, because sometimes you're not in the headspace or just everything you're dealing with to be out here talking to people. it's just not the time sometimes, and you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. You got to know when to run the race. You got to know when to pace yourself. You got to know when to get that drink of water, so because I'm very athletic and I ran track, I know how you have to know how to manage you. First of all, you are the CEO of your company and you need to know how to run your business. So with temperance, with patience, swiftly, it's not given to, but the one that endure to the end. And that, like, everything you saying tonight is just hitting head on. Like somebody asked you, so when you gonna let that job, you know what I'm saying? When you letting that job go and you gonna start doing this right here? Like, that's the perfect answer. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is my life. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm never gonna give up. This is my dream. This is my baby. I'm a queen. Queens don't work for money. Know who you are. It just so much has hit and is landing on me. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. Even when you feel like I I I know I am a millionaire. I know I'm destined for greatness. When you know who you are and whose you are, it's hard to have people treat you like a peasant. It's hard to honestly even feel like a peasant within yourself and know you're greater. I'm more than that. But I don't want to take up too much everybody's time. But I do still want to look at my notes because y'all, I take notes in the chat for myself and for you all, and I screenshot them and I go back and I put them on paper. But so real quick, I just wanted to look at my notes because I did want to say where I was. Something else that hit me big was this right here. Confidence comes with changing your relationship with the word failure. And that kind of ties into everything I was just saying. Failure, failure is not your identity. Uh, we all make mistakes. Don't avoid the activity for fear of failure. And honestly, for me, that's where I am. Uh, aside from everything I'm dealing with personally, I am I have a spirit of excellence, and I set the bar for myself. It has nothing to do with nobody else. And I know they say just get out there and mess it up. Well, I don't want to be a flop. I don't want to get out there and just mess it up and look stupid. I want to have that confidence that comes with knowing what you're talking about, presenting yourself in such a way that what you're saying. People know when you just humming it and winging it and all that right there. I don't believe in that. My spirit, the spirit of excellence in me won't allow me to just get out here and be a mess. But praise be to God, it's coming. So I digress, you all. Thank you for listening.
And what's one thing you're going to implement this week?
So my last day on my job is Friday, and it's amazing. I'm speaking some things into existence because, like I said, I will be a full-time entrepreneur before the end of the year. So I got this job, left this job. So on Friday, Lord bless, I'm gonna try to go out. I'm gonna go out. I'm doing the full service wheel. So I'm gonna go out and prospect some people and say hello and just get out so I can get out of my head and I can get out the house and step outside of me and all of that and just go on and take care of my business and let God take care of me. Amen.
All right, now, everybody show some love in the chat for everybody who shared and showed up today. Listen, family, let's go out there and step into our true identity. Walk in that confidence, walk in that authority, inspire others to walk in that confidence and walk in authority. And let's go out there and make it happen. We'll take one more. Kate Crow, give us your name, city, and state.
Hey,
what impacted you most? One thing that impacted you most and one thing you're going to implement.
Well, actually, brother, there was a few things, but I know we don't have a lot of time. So I will just relay this. I was just at a men's fellowship meeting, and I talked to them about failure in regards to the fact that when we get, and I got this from Miles Monroe, right? And I got to paraphrase it because
That's
It
my
was on, he
guy.
says, you wear a lot of hats, and we talking about men, right? You wear a lot of hats as a man. So you're a father, grandfather, your coworker, brother, uncle, neighborhood guy, blah, blah, blah. Says, so when you get up in the morning, you got all these great intentions because you have all these responsibilities. And so as you go through the day, you spinning your hat around, spinning your hat around, spinning your hat around. So when the end of the day comes, right, you also realize that you didn't do everything that you said you were going to do. You didn't do everything correctly that you said you were going to do. And some things you didn't do at all. So you let yourself down, you let some people down, but you're not a failure. What you have done is learn from what you did not do, what you did wrong, those things like that. So the next day, right, you start off same thing, and you good at what you messed up the day before, but now you suck at something else that you today. Right? So essentially, you got to take, that's part of your repertoire, and so the fact that I shared it with them, and now, I'm talking about it here. My thing now is that I have to talk to business owners, and I've got a folder here, and I've got all of these cards that I've been overlooking and scared to touch and all this other stuff. So what I have to do, and I'll put it on my schedule, is grab at 10 cards. I got to do 10. Can't do no less than 10, right? And call them up and say whatever the hell is on my mind. If I just call them and say, hey, man, I don't know you, but I'm so-and-so, and I found your card on my desk, and are you still in business? Would you be interested in something like this? Would you, something, man. I don't have a script. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a script, because then that's not me. But as I do it, because once I get past the second one, the rest of them in trouble, Coach. The rest of them in trouble, Coach. I'm telling you, man.
And
So yeah, that's what I got. And thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you.
And that's what you're going to implement this week. And let everybody know your name, city, and state.
Keith. My first name is Keith. Keith Crow. I've been with you before. Me and you have had a couple of dialogues and stuff, but I had to drop off and come back on, so I had to put the K in there. But anyway, yeah, I'm here.
City and state?
I'm in Chesapeake, Virginia.
All right, brother. Everybody show some love in the chat. And if you caught what he said, something really powerful about what Mr. Crow just shared is he doesn't care what he's going to say to the first 10 people, because he knows in the process of calling the first one, he's going to learn from the first call, and he's going to improve in the second call. He's going to learn from the second call and improve from the third call for the third call. He's going to learn from the third call and improve from the fourth call, which tells me he understands the value of activity. And it goes back to his very message that you're not a failure. You learned something from the previous experience that you can invest into the next one. And that's how you start boosting your competence, your confidence. You don't have to know everything to start. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just be willing to get better. There's no shortage of people. There's no shortage of experience. There's no shortage of anything you might think there's a shortage. Don't ever let the devil trick you into thinking that our great God is a God of lack. There is no lack in God's kingdom. Anybody that suggests otherwise will lie to you about other things as well. So come from an abundance mentality. Know that my first 100 of anything is for practice. My first 100 phone calls is for practice. My first 100 team members were for practice, leadership practice. My first 100 everything is for practice. When I studied real estate investing, and they said, hey, if you want to find a good deal, you got to go through 100 properties to find the one good deal, the motivated seller. My first 100 of anything is practice. So go for the practice and the experience and the skill and the confidence before you start getting emotionally attached to the result. And you will be so empowered and run rings around those who are so focused on the result that they never get to the activity. Love you all. Have a great week. Bring back your success stories. Bring back your team. Bring back others. We'll catch you next time here. If anybody's looking for coaching, leadership coaching, business coaching, reach out to me. I'm easy to find at Coach Farbell on Instagram, on Facebook. Send me a message, reply to an email. If I can do anything to add additional value to you, your team, your vision, your goals, let me know. In the meantime, we'll catch you back here next week for another episode of Born CEO Leadership Academy. Love you all. Have a great week. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you. Good night.
so
Good
much.
night.
Bye, everybody.
Night.
Good
Night.
night.